Hello, and it's a pleasure to be with you again today. Um, I am going to share with you a thought that is on Chabad.org, written by the same author as Positivity Bias, Rabbi Mendel Kalmeson. Because when I read it, it really struck me, and it basically addresses a question that a lot of people are asking themselves, either rhetorically or speaking to their friends or loved ones. And the question is, will this coronavirus change us forever? And this is a question. The longer the quarantine takes place, the longer the stay at home and shelter in place edicts are upon us, the more that we're afraid of what the effects of the virus are, and the more that we are affected by loss and pain. We say, okay, business is not going to be the same. Social engagements are not going to be the same. We're going to have a different attitude, and that's the conventional wisdom that's out there. But yet, when you look in Judaism and in Jewish history and in Jewish teaching, it has something wonderful to offer on this whole concept of change. And we go back to the time of the Exodus. So there was this period that the people of Israel were finally released and discharged after 210 years of miserable slavery, facing the brutal and oppressive hand of the Egyptians. And God miraculously comes down on the night of Passover with the plague of the firstborn. And Pharaoh finally agrees and says all the Israelites should leave the country immediately. And they pack their belongings, and they don't even have time to let the dough rise, and they all rush out to freedom. Yet 3 days later, as they were standing at the shores of the Sea of Reeds, known as the Red Sea, and they saw the Egyptians in hot pursuit, they began to riot and scream against Moses. And one of the statements they said was, "Why did you take us out here to die?" Or later in the desert, they were saying, we remember the cucumbers and we remember the watermelon that we ate and the delicious onions that we had in Egypt. And the question is, really? They don't remember the slavery? They don't remember the hardships? They don't remember the beatings? Suddenly they wax romantic about their time in Egypt? How is that they were so forgetful in such a short period of time? And the reality is that inner change does not come with inspiration. It comes with perspiration. Inspiration can actually lead us there and open up our eyes, but it takes a lot of hard work on our part to change and make a permanent change in our lives. And we see this constantly. We might be inspired by a talk. We might be inspired by seeing something unfold in front of us, whether it's in the positive or the negative, and we make a resolution, yeah, we're going to change our life. But we know how long it really lasts. It lasts for a very short period of time. The only way to make a change, if it's organic and if it comes within us, it is a resolution where there is discipline, there's introspection, and actually hard work of developing a change within ourselves. And this is something that Judaism teaches, that even though we experience an event and it's with us, but it doesn't necessarily change us. And if it does, it's short-lived. In order to have a proper change, we really need to do the work. And this is particularly true in these days between Passover and Shavuot, when we count the Omer. Part of the reason that we count the Omer is the anticipation to the receiving of the Torah at Sinai. But our sages also say that Sphira to Omer, the word Sphira comes from Sipur, which means to sparkle, to make something shine, to refine, to cleanse. In order for the Jewish people to be worthy of receiving the Torah at Sinai, they had to go through a 7-week period of self-evaluation and self-cleansing and refining their traits and building their character so that they should be worthy recipients of the divine revelation that took place by God at Mount Sinai. Similarly today, what we're experiencing today can definitely be an eye-opener. It can definitely serve as an inspiration. but it's not going to be automatic. We actually need to put the work into ourselves to change the way we see the world, not to take anything for granted, to recognize the preciousness of time that we can spend together, to recognize how valuable it is that we can come to the synagogue and pray together, or congregate together during the time of Kiddush, that we don't take it for granted, and that we truly refine ourselves to the point that we become kinder and gentler and really express ourselves in a proper way. This comes through hard work and change. May this be an inspiration, what we're going through now, that it should bring us to a change that will be positive and that will have a proper effect and a domino effect on the world around us. Thank you very much.